Thank you very much for your interest and your investment into the Egon 48 volt architecture. With this video, we want to make sure that you are safe while you are doing the installation of the Egon 48 volt system. You can also use it just for general knowledge about 48 volt and safety. It is very important for you to know that when you're working with 48 volt systems, you have to protect yourself from 48 volts. Unlike 12 volt systems where you can touch things and it doesn't matter, 48 volt can shock you. And the easiest way of doing that is to isolate yourself from the 48 volt source. And one way of doing that is you can be wearing gloves. So here's yours, Andrew. So now for the safety demonstration of this, let's touch 48 volt, which I don't recommend you do, but I've done it before. I got a zap from it, not serious, but enough to feel it. But let's see what happens when Andrew touches live 48 volt, because he's a bit older, he's not wearing a pacemaker, very important. Andrew, get in there.
Thought you'd never ask. So, with rubber gloves, I'm not going to feel anything at all. Okay, nothing at all. That's why they're safe. That's why they're so effective, and they're cheap. All right, you say it's not going to hurt me, Heiner.
I'm not sure.
Is the battery on? It is. Can't feel anything.
If you would be sweating a little bit.
I am sweating a little bit. My hands are not completely dry. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel this little zap in my joint.
Yes.
Yeah? It's not unbearable, and it's certainly not painful.
If you would be sweating a lot, or you're just coming out of a swimming pool, or the sea, even worse, salt water,
okay, so
you'd definitely be feeling it.
So here's the thing. I'm not going to demonstrate this, but all right, let's pretend we've camped on the beach. It's beautiful. We got so much electricity, energy, we don't know what to do with it. The aircon's been running. It's a pretty hot day, and I come out of the sea and I step in here. I walk in and I take the cover off the battery, and I'm soaking wet, and I've left a pool of water around me, and I deliberately touch the positive terminal. I'm gonna feel it, but it's not gonna hurt me. It's just gonna be a bit nasty. I think am I right in saying that's kind of the worst? Who would do that? Don't do that, is what we're saying.
It's important for you to know that a 48 volt system charges up to almost 58 volt to actually get charge into the battery cells. Now, what does that mean? Under Australian legislation, everything below 120 volt, ripple-free DC, that is very important, ripple-free DC, is deemed ultra-low voltage. Now, if it is AC, you're only allowed to work on it in a DIY environment, which is the ultra-low voltage legislation. It's only 50 volt for AC. Everything over that, you need a license. For DC, it's up to 120 volt, completely ripple-free. So that means that 48 volt systems in caravans, vehicles, at least under Australian legislation, fall under the ultra-low voltage bracket, which means you do not need a special certificate to work on it.
We know that there are some out there who will say that lithium is unsafe when compared to lead-acid technology. The opposite is true. Now, if you had to do a dead short with a lithium 12-volt battery, there will be a bright spark, quite loud bang, and then nothing, because the battery management system will turn itself off. 48 volt, very similar. Even louder bang, even bigger spark, but the battery management system will shut the battery down. With lead-acid technology, including AGM batteries, a loud spark, and often what happens, the spark welds whatever the short is to its contact. So it's difficult then to remove that contact. A fire ensues, not of the battery, but of the cable connected to the battery. So all in all, lithium technology is far safer than lead acid in all its forms.
And one of the first things that I want to stress when you work on 48-volt systems is please isolate. You have to isolate the power sources from the system before you work on them. That's very, very important. One easy way of isolating the system from the power source is turning the battery off. On a battery that has got a main switch or master switch or isolation switch, you just press the button and it isolates the battery, so there is no more voltage, no more power supplied to the terminals, and your installation is safe. Another way would be that you use personal protective equipment like these household rubber gloves. They are enough to isolate yourself from the dangers of a 48-volt system. Once you put these gloves on, and they're no heavy-duty gloves of any sort, they're just standard household gloves that you usually use for washing dishes. Once you've got them on, you can touch terminals and you will not get electrocuted with them. So a good way of isolating a power source from your installation is to take the battery negative terminal off. Wear gloves first, then use a ratchet or a spanner. Be very, very careful that you don't touch the battery positive terminal while you do it. And you start with the negative terminal because just in case you're touching the body of the vehicle somewhere, there will be no arc if you start with the negative terminal. So wear gloves, take a spanner, take the negative terminal off. After that, still wear gloves, take the positive terminal off. Still be careful that you do not touch the negative terminal or something else, just to be on the safe side. And once you've got these two cables off, your power source is isolated. I said you can start to work on it now, but only if you haven't got a solar installation. If you've also got solar panels on the roof and there's a solar regulator, that will still be supplying high 48-volt voltage to the installation, to the DC hub 48 volts. So you also have to make sure that you isolate your solar power source. So you will have a solar regulator somewhere and you can either go into the settings and turn it off, or you have to turn the power source off. In an installation, you should always have an isolation switch for the solar DC side. So what you do is you turn that isolation switch off, you isolate the solar panel from the solar regulator, which will then stop supplying voltage to the 48-volt hub. And now you've isolated all your power sources. Unless you've got something else that we're not aware of. If you got another 240 to 48-volt AC charger or something else that supplies power, make sure you disconnect all power sources to your Egon 48-volt hub before you do any work on it. As part of your maintenance for your Egon DC hub 48 volt, from time to time you have to check how tight the screws on the connectors are. There's two ways of doing that. The very safe way would be to also isolate all the power sources and then check. But just in case you don't want to isolate the power sources, that's the only time where you can actually get away with not isolating and still checking. But you need special tools. These are special electrical screwdrivers. You can see that because the metal of the screwdriver is insulated. There's a rating on there. This is rated for up to 1000 volts. Much more than we need, but rather be safe than sorry. So what you do is you take your clips off. You take the cover off. Make sure you do not touch any part of the circuit board. And now, if you want to check how tight the connectors are, you usually always touch the screwdriver somewhere. That's why we use these isolated screwdrivers. With this screwdriver, you can touch live voltage and you can touch this part of the screwdriver. Never touch the metal. And now you can check the tension. And you go through and you do your maintenance as per specification from Egon, that you just go through and you just nip them up and you go, yep, make sure they're all tight. For the larger connectors, you have to use a Phillips head screwdriver. You can also go in there, check how tight they are. then this should be part of your maintenance schedule. You do want to make sure these don't rattle loose. And once you've torqued them up properly, they should not. And you just give them a little, nip, because the copper over time squashes together a little tiny bit, and you just want to give it that extra nip to make sure your installation stays spot on. So the things we've learned today is, when working on a 48 volt installation, do not touch any live contacts unless you wear personal protective equipment. Wear rubber gloves, latex gloves. Those isolate you from power sources. And in case you are working on live connections like the screw connectors, and you just want to check if they're tight, use special tools, electrical screwdrivers. Hang on a sec. Use special tools like these screwdrivers that are insulated from the power source, and use them to check your contacts. Again, do not work on a live 48 volt system.